On behalf of Department of Geography and Disaster Management, University of Kashmir, I take the honor to welcome the galaxy of intellectuals and dignitaries who will be with us in the inaugural session of the one-week training program on earthquake risk mitigation and management, jointly organized by Department of Geography and Disaster Management, University of Kashmir, Srinagar, and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi.
Everyone knows there is a need in this part of the country to talk about disaster risk mitigation, especially earthquakes, and of late floods. So you have tasted all those two big disasters in recent past. So I don't think there is anyone who didn't remember these two major events which had taken place in 2005 and 2014. So there is not much to talk about the incidences. Everyone have faced it, and everyone knows how difficult those situations were when we were facing those situations. So that is a time now to ponder upon those lessons learned from there and to prepare for future one. As we do say, during disasters or during those situations which are so difficult to manage, those are not one-time activity. Those are going to be repeated again. So is the flood, so is the earthquake. So this is the best time to ponder upon, learn the lessons, and prepare for the future. So that is in this context that we are organizing this program with this university, with the Department of Geography as one of the main coordinator or organizer for this event. As far as the course is concerned, basic purpose of this course is to sensitize the next generation students and up to a certain extent few of the professionals who are working in this area of disaster risk mitigation, if not per se earthquake risk mitigation. So what we are trying to achieve is we have invited a lot of teachers, say assistant professors, and some professionals working with the state government, and a lot of students, maybe PhD scholars, master's students. So we are having something in our mind, and that's why we have selected that level of participation. It's a mixed group, and through that we want to specifically communicate that there is a challenge and we have to overcome that challenge through you people.
At the outset, I really congratulate Head Department of Geography and Disaster Management and his team for organizing a very important program in collaboration with National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. As Professor Parvez earlier said, that I have been witness to a major one of such program long time back when I was Dean Students Welfare. That time the Chancellor of this university, Professor Vora, gave me the responsibility of organizing that program. It was, of course, in collaboration with Earth Sciences. A really wonderful program we had that time. And as I was wondering if there are any mock drills and all that, I could see they are included in the program, and I'm sure as you have roped in the functionaries from various departments of our UT who are of importance in order to have or to undergo such type of sessions or training programs, I'm sure that it's going to be beneficial for them. As Professor Golat said, that Kashmir has been witness to two main disasters, that's flood and earthquake. The repercussions of both these disasters we can still feel in our society, and we know that 50% of our population are residing or are at risk from the seismic zone of 5, so we can well imagine how cautious we have to be and how much aware we have to be. as the earlier speaker said, that these types of programs, of these types of exercises helps us to make ourselves prepare or to be aware when such earthquakes or when such floods occur. As the statistics shows that, for example, if the preparedness is there and we have presence of mind at that time, the risk of, the major calamity, we cannot, we cannot prevent it, but the loss of life, maybe the loss of life can be less if we are aware of it, because we can see the most of the population dies due to earthquake by the collapse of houses. And if we are able to how to rescue ourselves, if we are able to make our population aware how they have to rescue ourselves, I think maybe our role can be, we are successful in our role by preventing some lives from the major disaster by killing them. And I'm sure it's a 5-day long program. I was listening to the various sessions that are going to be conducted, a very well thought of sessions, and I think the need of the hour and the various departments which have been roped in, I'm sure they'll be benefited by them. I would request Professor Parvez that in future try to have the collaborations of other departments, like a social work department can be important, our DSW is very important, our NSS is very important, sociology you can rope in, and others pertaining to the risk of women due to during disaster, women and children. We have to be very specific about pregnant women, lactating women, all these types of things we have to be, So I was, I attended one of the programs of UNICEF where I gave a session on how to upkeep of mental setup of pregnant women and lactating women, because it's really a hard task that time. So I'm sure if you can rope in the Department of Home Science, I can also personally guide them. I think these types of, some types of models we should frame, and we can take a lead at the country level if we frame. I'm sure that such type of modules must be there, at your own level, at the national level. But I'm not sure whether anything pertaining to the nutrition of women and children, lactating mothers, pregnant women, preschool children, these are the 3 vulnerable groups which are very important from nutrition point of view. If they have been, I am sure must have been taken care of, but any input if you need from my side, I'm ready to give it. I thought it's very important what I was going through the objectives of the program. I thought it's very important to say about it. With these words, I congratulate the Department of Geography and Disaster Management and NDMA for collaborating and having this very important program, and I'm sure that who all are the participants of this program will be benefited by it, and together, if we are able to make a change anywhere, to make things in place, definitely, as a premier academic institute of our UT, University of Kashmir, I would definitely like that we take a lead and we play our role in it in order to fix things wherever we have to. With these words, thank you very much.
So it's always good to come back after hectic field schedule. Thanks a lot for having me here. Coming to on serious note now, I have. The way I deal with the way I do my bit of work is I follow a certain principle. And the principle is know your enemy, know your land, and know your people. And then you ensure how do you equip these people to fight with the enemy, how do you mitigate the injuries or the risk which is being caused by your enemy. So that's the principle I work on. And I don't involve in all these aspects, but that's my main research focus is to know your enemy. So in this case, what we're talking is basically, I work on earthquakes. So I try to study earthquakes as to what are they, how do they occur, where do they occur, what is the possibility, what is the process involved, how big your enemy could be, and what impact it is going to be to have on your land, on people, on infrastructure. So that's the basic principle I work on.
This is basically a 1-week training program which is being organized by Department of Geography and Disaster Management, University of Kashmir, and National Institute of Disaster Management, which is an institute under Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. It's a 1-week training program from 17th of October to 21st of October. It's a 5-day training program. And the topic of this particular specialized training program is earthquake mitigation, earthquake risk mitigation and management. It is of very vital importance, keeping in mind that we're living in an earthquake-prone area. We are in the zone 4 and zone 5 of the earthquake the zonation. So keeping that in mind, we need to basically keep in mind that all the stakeholders, the common man, the academia, the intelligentsia, the common man, all are to be basically apprised about the problems which we are going to face when we experience earthquake-like situations. We have a very long history of earthquakes, and particularly when we talk about immediate past, in 2005, we had an earthquake in the Kashmir earthquake of 2005, in which we saw that hundreds of thousands of people died and infrastructure worth crores of rupees was lost. And we are always vulnerable to this type of natural calamity. Keeping in mind that we should basically, at the same time, it's the role of the institution like in University of Kashmir to basically take a lead role in organizing such training programs, invite people from all walks of life and train them. But particularly as far as this particular program is concerned, it was an earthquake risk mitigation and management. It was a specialized technical program so that the technical people from the academia, people from research, engineers, and people from other allied branches, they could be basically apprised about what is the physical genesis of earthquakes and what's their impact on our lives, everyday lives. So this particular program is that way is of much importance, and we have tried our level best to get the best possible resource persons from all over the India. In fact, we have some brilliant minds from who have basically carved a niche for themselves at the national and the international level. The theme of this year International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, which was recently celebrated by the Department of Geography and Air, was early warning systems, and we have kept a part of this basically devoted to that. So overall, it is a program for people from the academia, from the research field, from the people from the engineering field, so that we could basically apprise the people and raise the level of awareness among the people at large.